Hello folks, a very warm welcome to another video. I hope this one does find you well and enjoying your simming, as difficult as that can be from time to time, particularly if you're trying to enjoy your simming in the Microsoft 2024 sim. Fair bit of frustration out there, isn't there, folks? I can empathise with it. But enough about the 2024 sim, because we're not flying in it today. We're back in the old sim. Is it is it considered the old sim? Well, it's older than 2024, I suppose. The Microsoft 2020 sim, yes, folks, it's still available, and at least here on my rig, um, is more reliable. I won't say it's better, although if something's more reliable, I think that qualifies as better. So yeah, the better sim, at least as I film this in January of 2025. Folks, I've got a tribute video for you today. If you happen to be so interested, and if you're hearing me say these words and you've been interested enough to click a thumbnail on YouTube, thank you for doing so. Nice to have your company. It's a tribute video to a bloke that would be pretty well known in the part of the world in which we fly today, and I think known around the world by fans of the beautiful game. I speak of the late, great, the one and only Denis Law. Denis Law, Scottish footballer of Manchester United Trinity fame, alongside Georgie Best and Bobby Charlton. The statue there on the forecourt outside of Old Trafford. Bit of a pilgrimage for Man United fans, I think, to touch or be in the vicinity. I don't know if you can touch the statue. It's probably got a barrier around it these days, folks. It's the way the world's gone. But at least, have sight of the statue at some point if you're a die-hard Man United fan, which I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself a die-hard fan. I'm an interested observer from afar. But yeah, Denis died about a week ago, I think. And yeah, saw a few tributes around the traps for him. Fantastic player. Never had the pleasure of watching him play live, but things live on and are exposed to other generations through the likes of YouTube, etc. And yeah, what a fantastic talent, and what a loss to the world of football. So I'm doing this one for him and for everyone who was a fan or was a fan of Denis Law. And I guess I'm also doing this for current fans of Man United because you guys are doing it a bit tough. What's happening with that team? Eh? It's been a tough decade, really, for fans of Man United, hasn't it? And yeah, not travelling so well at the moment. So a shout out to you guys. Hopefully, if you're watching this video, you get a little bit of relief from the suffering that is being a Man United fan in 2025. I'm sure things will pick up in time, folks. Have hope. And I'm also doing this as a tribute. There's a lot of tributes happening here to anyone that is experiencing or caring for someone who's experiencing that horrible illness that is dementia. Dementia is what got Denis in the end. It gets far too many people, and it's just a horrific experience to go through. It takes a huge toll, not just on the person experiencing it, but also on those that are caring for them. So I just want to give you guys a shout out as well. I admire your courage and your resilience and your love. Ultimately, caring for someone with dementia is a demonstration of love. So lots of tributes happening there, folks. We are flying the 777, a PMDG 777, resplendent in a livery that ain't been seen in the virtual or real skies for many a year, the British Caledonian livery. Now, BCal, yeah, have not been around for a while. I think they're required by BA Um, Late 80s, maybe? Or did it stretch into the 90s? Someone will know. But I would like to think that had they been around when the 777 was introduced, they would have flown the tripler on some of their routes. They have an interesting fleet of aircraft, BCAL, as I recall. So anyway, the magic of the sim, we can resurrect BCAL and place it on a 777 and go for a fly. And that is a nice segue to our flight plan. And here is said flight plan in little nav map. Now, you may have guessed, folks, that at some point during the course of this flight we'd end up in Scotland. Denis Law, a very proud Scotsman, wasn't he? Considered, I think, widely regarded as the best Scottish player of all time by those who know such things. And we begin our journey in the place of his birth, which is the city of Aberdeen, Dice Airport specifically. Our flight plan has us departing runway 16 out of Aberdeen, and we've got a right turn once we get above 1,000 feet, and then a left turn at Lavty, and then we head down towards Glasgow, I think, which is down here. We do past Glasgow, hit Phoenix, and then left dogleg, and then it's pretty much a straight run down towards our destination, which is, of course, Manchester, Old Trafford up here, folks, where Denis worked his magic. The king of the Stretford End, old Denis wasn't he? Actually, he had a few kind of monikers. That was one. There were some fans who also called him the Lawman as well, which I didn't know until very recently. But I knew of his reputation as the king, still referred to as the king. And when you think about all the great players that have played for Man United, that's high praise. Runway 23 right, looks like in Manchester for us, at least according to what SimBrief wants us to do. We'll see when we get there. Well, I don't know what the weather's doing. Weather looks okay here in Aberdeen. I think it's okay en route, and I'm hoping that it's going to be okay down there in Manchester. That's the plan, folks. There'll be a departure segment. There'll be a cruise segment. There'll be an approach segment. Pretty standard video here on the channel. Appreciate your company. Thanks for joining the old man, and let's go flying. Alright, so engine start has been achieved. We've got a short taxi down to the bottom of runway 16 here in Aberdeen. This is a bit of custom freeware, this airport. You won't see much of it during the course of this video, but I like what I see, and there'll be a link to it in the description if you want to pick it up and see if you too like what you see. I think we've got everything set, ready to go here. We've got flaps 5, we've got our trim set, we've got our ND sorted, we've got our PFD sorted, local barrow, just make sure, yep, we've got that sorted. We're barring up. Toga LNAV, Toga VNAV, I think that's what it should say. 159 is our V2 for a speed. I think we're good. I'm pleased to once again have my favourite co-pilot joining me. Kingy, how are you, sir? That's the way. Kingy. It's a double Kingy. We've got this king, my favourite king, flying with me on a tribute flight to the king of the Stretford End. How's that? Hey, only on this channel, folks. I don't imagine you're seeing too many tribute videos to Denis Law and any other flight simulation video. The other content creators are too busy showing you the latest aircraft to be released, or something else that's wrong with the 2024 sim, or the cure for all of your stutters and, you know, all of that gear. There's lots of them around, hey? Lots and lots to choose from, folks, if you're interested in flight simulation content on the old YouTube. And I want to say thank you for choosing to spend a small portion of your day or of your evening, or of your wee hours of the morning, with the old man and Kingy. What's that ding dong? Oh, cabin ready. That's nice to know. I mean, we were going to go anyway. Thank you, virtual cabin. All right, folks, lined up runway 16. So we've got nil wind. That's good. Now our checklist, we've got that sorted, Kingy. Hey, thank you for completing that, boy. Lord knows I don't. Folks, I can't see any reason why we should not push the throttle forwards and leave Aberdeen. Kingy, can you see any reason why we shouldn't do that? I'll take that as a yes. Let's do it, folks. 50% on the old throttles. Run. Is that one there? And then we press the magic screw. That one. Thrust reft. Oh, listen to those sounds. Beautiful.
Airspeed's alive.
Thank you, Georgie. We are rolling, folks. Runway 16, Aberdeen.
80 knots.
Thank you. And we'll rotate about there. Nice and gently does it. Up into the bars we go.
Positive rate of climb.
Thank you. Gear up. Oh, lovely. Love flying this aeroplane. I'll just re-trim. So basically 1,000 feet and we can start making that right-hand turn. Kind of reach our acceleration point. We actually go flaps 1 at this point. Begin that right-hand turn, why don't we? Go flaps up as we do so. We are rocketing out of here, 3,500 feet a minute. Happy with that. Accelerating to 250 is what VNAV wants. Making the turn. Away we go. Beautiful day here in Scotland. Shout out to you if you happen to be watching this from Scotland, or an even bigger shout out if you happen to be in Aberdeen itself. Love to hear from you in the comments if that is the case. I'm going to get Georgie engaged at this point. We've cleaned ourselves up nicely. He can do most of the flying here. We'll just zoom out the range. We'll take an external, give you all a look at Aberdeen here in the 2020 sim. It's a little bit loud. Safely away, folks. I'll see you during the cruise. It doesn't take long to reach top of climb, especially when you're pretty lightly loaded. I think we're talking for about 15 tonnes worth of fuel and whatever packs and cargo SimBrief wanted to throw in. And we're cruising low, 280. It's a number I picked out of my ass. I don't think it's worth going much higher. Pretty short flight, actually, less than an hour from Aberdeen down to Manchester today. Absolutely beautiful day here, midwinter's day in Scotland. Just heading towards the Perth VOR, and then of course Glasgow, about 50 miles or so in the ahead of us. So getting along at Mach 0.79, 280 as mentioned. Yeah, we got up here after about 8 minutes. Easy does it. It looks like we've got a norwesterly blowing, so that'll be nice. That'll be a tailwind if it holds. Yep, happy with that. King, are you happy with how everything is going, mate? Jeez, King, I tell you, mate, it's such a relief to have you on board after a flight with that woman who shall not be named. Anyway, folks, I'll take this early opportunity just to welcome new subscribers to the channel. There's been a few come through recently. I mean, I've lost a few as well. Every video I post, I seem to lose a few. Particularly if I post an X-Plane video. Hey, no one likes the X-Plane videos here on this channel. Or very few of you. There will be more X-Plane content. Whether people like it or not is another question. But I am I'm pretty sim agnostic at this point, folks. I'm flying actively flying four different simulators. The two Microsoft Sims, X-Plane 12, and another one that I won't mention at this time. You'll probably not see any content for that sim. That's just a little, very, very occasional when I feel like shooting stuff up. I jump into that sim and pretend that I'm back in World War II. Might give you some indication of what I refer to. But yeah, thank you for joining the show. If you're a recent subscriber, and of course, thank you as always to those of you that have been around for a while, of which there are many. Your continued support is very much appreciated. Glad to have your collective company as we fly these flights. So, Mr. Law, Denis Law, never knew him, of course, and like I said, I never saw him play live. I knew of him. I've known of him for a long time, and because there is a trivia question where the answer is Denis Law, and I happen to be one of the few people that I know that actually know the answer to the question. The trivia question being, who is the only Scottish player to win the Ballon d'Or? The Ballon d'Or. It is Denis Law. And I've known that fact for a really long time. One of the many, many bits of useless information that I keep in the filing cabinet that is my head. Yeah, that's a fact. He's the only Scot ever to have won the Ballon d'Or. Fantastic player. You know, he's a legend of Man United, but he played for other clubs, the names of which escape me at this time. But it was really at Man United, along with compatriots Mr. Best and Sir Bobby and other members of the team during that sort of glory period. And they've had a few glory periods, Man United, but there was one where those three, the United Trinity, as they're referred to, won a few titles and whatever. And yeah, what a talent. Love the fact that we can enjoy his work, 60 years later, courtesy of YouTube and courtesy of the memories of other people that in the last week have been remembering and paying tribute to Denis. And what's come through for me is obviously his talent. Everyone remembers that. But the theme of all of the tributes has been that Denis was a thoroughly decent chap. He was good company, great personality, great character, great sense of humour. Just a good fella to be around. And that's really, that's come through with every tribute that I've seen or read of Denis. So, and that's been nice. But yeah, huge loss to the club. He's the last of the Trinity to go. Denis was 84 or something like that. Bobby's gone a while. George Best has been gone a long time. And who's the last one? Unfortunately, and I know they paid tribute to him in the last home game at Man United. Who did they play? Brighton, I think. They played Brighton at Old Trafford, tribute. And you would have thought that would have been inspiring to the current Man United team, but it turned out not to be the case. And they lost to Brighton, and all the Man United fans are down and out and calling for sackings, and it tends to happen every month with football teams that aren't doing so well, particularly in the Premier League. Call for the sacking of the coach, or getting rid of this player and that player, and getting rid of the owners. That seems to be that's a common theme coming through from Premier League fans. Get rid of the owners, particularly with respect to Man United, who now have a pretty complicated ownership structure. I think it's complicated anyway. So that tribute, they didn't do it for Dennis. Let's put it that way. When they played against Brighton the other day. So, but Dennis, mate, I dips me lid and I raise my glass to you, son. Well done. Boy, this is a short flight, particularly when you've got 60 knots up to date. You're getting along the ground at 510 knots. We're doing all right here. Kingy, top of descent is coming up damn quickly. 30 nautical miles quickly, Kingy. Should we do the checklist, King? We don't normally do checklists on this channel. I tend to be more of a TLAR man. TLAR. I was introduced to that term by a kind viewer, thanks to a comment on a previous video. TLAR, standing for that looks about right, and that sums up my approach to flying. But just for something different, folks, let's run the checklist, the descent checklist, Kingy. So, recall. What the hell does that refer to, Kingy? King, I don't speak fluent canine, mate. I don't know what you just said. Recall. Is that kind of just a general check-in with yourself about, you know, how's your memory functioning? Well, mine's as ordinary as ever. Like, I can remember that Denis Law is the answer to that trivia question, but don't ask me what day it is today. Anyway, let's just proceed. Recall. Righto. Notes. About what? Like, notes? Bank notes? Do we have cash to pay the refueler at the other end in Manchester? Is that what it's for? I've got no idea, folks. We'll just click it. TLAR. Auto brake. Auto brake. I think one will do. Why not? Auto brake 1. Landing. Oh, check that, please. Landing data. VREF minimums. Oh, reset MCP altitudes coming up here as well. Things are happening really quickly, Kingy. I don't know. We'll just plug in 5,000. Get rid of that message. Right. Where were we? Landing data, VREF, whatever. So there's our approach page. So it's going to be flaps 30, 140 VREF. Nice long strip, 2-3 right. We're all good. Minimums. That's up here somewhere, isn't it? Can't we flick this? No, not that one. This one? There we go. Barrow 400. Another number out of my ass. TLAR, folks. Approach briefing. Oh, God. Approach briefing. Kingy. If someone notices the smell, blame the dog. Consider yourself briefed, King. Folks, I'll for you for an approach. I just noticed that our ND is looking a little bit complicated. What's this line here? Have I done something wrong with the flight plan? I don't think so. Lakey, Dizzy, Rosen, that one, and down to the runway. Oh, that's probably the vectoring thing. Yeah, okay. As you were, folks, I'll see you for an approach. Alright, concluding stages, folks. We're just turning for home. Or Georgie is anyway. It's been a beautiful descent until this point, down through the white fluffy stuff, the light coming in and out. Thanks, Georgie. He's going to pick up the ILS here into runway 23 right at Manchester. We'll go to manual flight as he rolls this level. We'll try and fly the ILS manually. Cross your fingers, folks, and your toes, and any other appendage that can be crossed that you may happen to have. I'm going to need all the help I can get. Autopilot off, as well as the auto throttle. I think we're good. We're going to take gear now as well. This could be interesting. Take another stage of flap. Keep us coming down, mate. We're in between layers here. This flight was sort of occurred so quickly, folks, that I didn't have time to check the weather in Manchester. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. For everything else, I just blame the dog. 165, we're good. And we're slightly left of the localizer, slightly low on profile on the glide. 8 miles to run. Visibility is looking 160 knots, flaps 20. Sending a little bit quickly. Speed back. Doing alright so far. We're doing it for Denis. Unlike the current crop of Man United players. Eh? You bastards. Do it for Denis. And a little bit more power here. We're getting slow on it. Let that get away from us. I think flaps 25. Don't get too low or too slow, mate. Getting a little bit nervous here about Viz. Auto throttle should have been off. What are you trying to do? It is now. All that time. I'm fighting against the automatics. That doesn't help. Now we're getting high on it. Oh, we're making hard work of this approach. Those of you that have been around this channel will know that that's business as usual. Full flaps now. Flaps 30. Kingy, can I leave you to do the checklist, mate? Thanks, boy. On the glide, on the lake. Don't get slow. Bloody hell. We might have to bust through minimums here. Does this thing have auto land? Is it a bit late to set that up? Alright, slightly low. Just a little bit. We're really slow on it. I can hear you guys screaming at me.
1,000.
Well, this is a nice unexpected challenge to conclude this flight. It's been far too easy until this point. I'm getting high on it again. It's going to get very sensitive as we get closer to the strip. No runway lights. Keep that speed under control. We're high on the glide. 800 feet. 2.7 miles to run. We're doing it for Denis, mate. Come on. Definitely high on it. Runway lights. Minimums were what? About 400? Made it. Continuing, folks. We are continuing. Gear down, flaps down, fingers across, and our sphincter has been tight all the way through the muck. Runway 23 right, Manchester, folks.
Approaching minimums.
Thank you.
Minimums. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
A bit of centerline pride for Denis. There you go. He wouldn't miss the centerline. He didn't miss often, did he? Folks, welcome to Manchester. Thank you for your company on another flight. This tribute to the one and only, the late great Denis Law. Folks, until we next meet, you stay well, enjoy your simming, and bye for now.